Hello, good evening, this is Diecast Luna. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another episode of Vintage Matchbox Mondays, episode 19 of Vintage Matchbox Mondays. And in this week's episode, we're going to take a look at some more pieces from my favourite diecast shop that I've been going to a lot recently. So we've got about 3 pieces from there. And one of the pieces is particularly interesting, or at least to me anyway, as I had one as a kid, and you don't usually find them intact. So we'll be taking a look at that one shortly. We've also got a couple of pieces that I picked up at the weekend from an open air flea market that I quite often go to after work. So we've got about 5 or 6 pieces to look at. So with that, we'll get straight into it and we'll take a look and we'll get the first one out of the bag. So just bear with me. Actual fact, just get the 2 straight out of the bag. Let's put the bag down there. So the first one is, let's get a bit of zoom. This awesome MB43 AMG Mercedes-Benz. So another Mercedes-Benz AMG. So very cool. And this one is in the black with the gold stripe. It says 500 SEC. So very cool. And it has, this one has the caramel interior. Let's just put the phone down a little bit. So really very cool, really happy to find this. It's funny because a while ago, I think it was possibly last week's episode, I was saying that I've been after just picking up one of these for a long time, and now I have 2. This is the second one to my collection, but very cool. And there you go, it's got a silver base, 1984 copyright, and because it's got the silver base, the base is part of the lights. So it gives it that light effect, which is really cool. But I've also got this one as well. This is the last one I picked up, which is obviously red with the black interior and the black base. But this was the first one. So this one obviously says AMG on the side, and this one has 500 SEC. And there's also a white variation, if I remember rightly. I think the white one with the grey stripe, the faint grey stripe saying AMG is the first variation. That's the second variation, and that is the third variation, and there's also quite a few others. But anyway, so it's nice to have another one to the collection. So that's the first piece. And the second cool piece is this, again, Matchbox MB68 Camaro IROC Z, or Z, depending on where you're from. Let's see if we can get it out, take a closer look. Now again, I didn't pay a lot. Well, let it come. I didn't pay a lot for these. Again, same price as last time, £5, which is really reasonable. The cars are in really great condition, and so is the boxes on these ones, to be honest. They have been opened before. Like I said before, some of them have been opened, some of them haven't. But the collector that collected these before me, all he basically did was open them, took a quick look, and then they went back into storage. So they are in really good condition. But anyway, as you can see, it's in what looks like a canary yellow colour. It has the look, because of the colours, it also reminds me of the Mad Max 1 film, where they have the yellow and black looking, or sorry, yellow, I think it's yellow and blue possibly, police cars. Even though these ain't the same cars, just the coloration reminds me of the cars from the first film. But anyway, going off the subject a bit here. So it is, obviously it's got IROC Z down the side, and again on the bonnet, and this one has an opening feature as well. So they're just, hang on, that's better. A bit difficult to see because it's the same colour as the rest of the car, but it's still cool to have an opening feature. But again, loads of suspension, usual thing with Matchbox. Rolls very nicely. So yeah, and that's also got a metal base, 1985 copyright, I believe. So yeah, it's very cool. Camaro IROC Z 28. So very cool. So that is a great piece of the collection. And now we'll get out the last piece from the shop, and we'll just put the camera up a little bit just for a second, and we will zoom out again if I can. And the last piece from the shop is the Matchbox programmable Trakshifters. So I had one of these as a kid, and like I said before, it's unusual to see one that's still packaged up Usually the car, if you do come across it, is either quite poorly or beaten about, or it's missing this, or this bit's broken. But this is the first one I've seen. I've been to a lot of car boots. This is the first one I've seen where it is all together. These came out, as far as I'm aware of, in about 1984. And I actually had, have a look, because it has got some on the back. I had the Datsun in, I believe it was in black. But this particular one I've got here now is the Firebird. And there's some little bits about it. And basically the way they worked is the little gear shifter. Basically you could program it. So by moving the gear shifter, basically you could get the car, when it was fired across the room, to do different tricks. So it would flip over, pop a wheelie, all sorts of stuff. And this bit, as you can see, you could program the distance that it traveled. So pretty cool. So anyway, let's get some extra zoom on and take a closer look at the car. So like I said, it is based on the Firebird. There we go. Camera sort itself out. Again, nice and weighty. Obviously these were all die cast. If this was made nowadays, this whole thing would probably be plastic. But it is quite robust. So it is a die cast top. Normal Matchbox sort of super fast wheels on the front. And these awesome big chunky Goodyear tyres on the back. Has a plastic base and this weird little sort of central wheel that obviously, as far as I'm aware of, when the car shoots off, if you manipulate the gears, it should, that's not going to do it until the car moves, but basically the idea is you can obviously program it to what stunts you want it to do. But when I was a young boy, I just thought these were cool because you actually had a toy car that had a gear shifter. But we will try and see if we can make it move across my table. I'm not going to go down to the kitchen today as there's too many people about. So let's just put this down a little bit and get the other parts of the car out. We might as well show that first of all before we use it. So this is obviously the base that the car sits in and would fire off. And these did go off at quite a rate. Where we go, 1984 copyright, Matchbox Toys Limited, Trakshifters. So anyway, let's give it a go. So we'll have to zoom out a little bit, move the box, and what's it set for? Well, it doesn't make much difference as it's only going across the table. So let's turn that to the middle. No. There, that do. Now the wheels pop down. That's funny. Right. So you probably won't see this as it goes off really that quick. But yeah, as you can see, very fast. And there you go. The wheel has popped down. And we'll just do it once more. Not that you're going to see it. I may try and slow it down. Let's try like that. So it does function. And like I said, I seen it in there. He's got a few of these hanging up, and I just thought, why not? You know, it's not going to really fit on my shelf, but it's definitely just a cool piece, bit different. So let's zoom back in again a little bit. There we go. But anyway, so that is the Matchbox programmable Trakshifters or Trakshifter from 1984. So that's pretty cool. So just move that to one side and then we'll take a look at the last couple of pieces. So like I said, at the weekend I popped out and found this at an open air market for £2, which I thought was an absolute bargain, because again, you find one of these in almost this condition with its box and they are fetching sort of 20 to 30 to 40 pounds. But this was £2 and it's pretty much near mint. It's got a few little issues here and there, but nothing major like that. But it is the trailer, can't see it, Caravan Matchbox series number 57, made in England, obviously super fast, 1970 copyright. So it is getting on a bit. This is the orange topped version and it does pull off to reveal the interior of the caravan. I'm just trying to look. It doesn't even have a replicated door, which is quite funny. But I have a thing for caravans. I don't know why. I've got quite a few nice caravans to my collection now. But pretty cool. And like I said, there is this. Like I said, this is the orange version. There's a darker, like a red top, and there's also a caramel top. So there's different variations again of this. I suppose at the time it was depending on how Matchbox was doing, because back in the day, Matchbox at their height was making 3,000 vehicles a week, or 3,000 diecast toys a week. Sorry, not 3,000, 3 million. They were making 3 million toys at their height, and they would quite often run out of different coloured plastics. So that's how the variations started back in the day, is they would basically use a different colour for a short run until they got back to the colour that they had. But anyway, so that's pretty cool for £2. And then the last piece I picked up, and it's funny because I think I mentioned in a previous video that I was looking out for one of these trucks. I'm sure I did. I know I did find a DAF truck like this, which I believe was the container truck. But this is exactly the same truck as the container truck, but I think this one is called the girder truck. So let's have a little look. Where are we to? DAF. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. There it is. So Matchbox series number, can't see, 58 I believe. Girder truck. But again, £2, and it's in really nice condition. And I'm not sure how many girders did come with this originally. I think it was more like 10 to 12. But this has 7 left. And I'm not going to take them off now, but you can, if you take them off, they do actually clip together. And you can make these like miniature little structures with them, which was really cool back in the day. But for £2, you cannot go wrong. It's got the traditional plastic black wheels that never really rolled that well, but anyway, still pretty cool. So that was a great find. So anyway, that is this week's finds. Let's put the cars back into the shot. So let's get a bit of zoom out. There's the Trakshifters. So anyway, that's this week's video. Please like, share, subscribe, stay tuned for more vintage unboxings, vintage pieces, wheel swaps, customs, and all that good stuff to come. I am actually working on a custom at the moment, just our usual awesome weather over here in the UK, so it makes things a bit difficult, but I am doing one at the moment, so that should be cool. So stay tuned for that. But with that, I'll see you all very soon. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.